Just start singing.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Xmas Your Enthusiasm. Congratulations, you made it to the penultimate episode of the season. Episode 9, penultimate means the one right before the ultimate. Please don't set any expectations for this to be the ultimate anything, and it's just another episode. Episode brought to you by Roy Rogers, of course. Roy Rogers, you're the one who took the wrong exit. You eat this shit. All right, before we get started, the Curb episode for this episode of Xmas Your Enthusiasm is The Surrogate. Woo! Season 4, episode 7. It debuted on February 22nd, 2004, which, as you look at it, 2222-2004, that is a very two-centric, very even date. I wonder what I was getting all up into that day. Anyway, the surrogate, Larry decides to buy a surrogate mother a gift, but it backfires. Surprise! He tries and fails to pass a routine physical and uses it as an advantage. I will say, I think this is one of the few Curb episodes I would say I've watched. It doesn't seem to be one of the ones that I've watched a million times. I've still watched it, a couple thousand times. So I'm interested to see how much of this is burned onto my brain. I'm sure still plenty of it. This episode's going to be The Surrogate. And don't forget, as always, this season is brought to you by Roy Rogers. Roy Rogers, you're the one who took the wrong exit. You eat the shit. Little Panera Sip Club update. Not update, but, because I go there 9,000 times a day, I want, and I see a lot of the same workers every day. And a couple I have hey, how you doing? I got that cooking. But bottom line is, I want them to like me, And not only do I want them to like me, but let's be honest, I want to be their favorite. I want to be their favorite Panera Sip Club member. And I certainly want to be the favorite. If I can't do that, at least I want to be the favorite who's from my building. And so I'm always worried. I'm like, they seem to like me as I, breeze through or whatever. But like, what if there's someone in my building, my very building, that they like more? Like they kind of perk up when they see them. But I don't think that's the case, because the one guy I've probably seen the most in my building, and maybe it's because he's so tall, it's just like 6'7" or 6'8" dude. And he just looks like the mopiest dipshit, whatever the reverse of charisma is. Charisma went into a black hole, and the black hole said, no thanks. This guy just droops with, he doesn't look at you, he doesn't want to, he's pained to be in the same area with you. Now, of course, I apologize, I'm not picking on him. I'm sorry, I'm sure maybe he has some mental health thing, fine. I'm sure he's a super nice guy, but he presents as, don't talk to me, which is fine. I respect that. I have no reason to not respect him 100% or even like him 100%. But when I saw him over there at Panera, I did get a little pep in my step, thinking, well, they must like me more than this motherfucker. I mean, come on. Anyway, I'm sure he's a sweetheart. I'd love to meet him if he wants to meet me. Maybe we'll be best friends. And as we get started, don't forget Larry's record thus far, heading towards the end of the season, is a small 31-32. It's just about 500, but boy, the paucity of transgressions. Hello, ladies and New York Times. This season is weird. Anyway, that's his record so far as we get started. Okay, there's something very interesting. I would know because I'm very interesting myself. The first scene here, they open up and Larry and Cheryl in bed watching an episode of Seinfeld. And the joke is that some woman calls every night after watching it and whatever. Of course, we never fucking hear from her again. The puffy shirt episode. Is that the only time in the entire Curb series that an episode of Seinfeld is shown? Like they show a couple seconds of the actual show. I don't mean during the reunion with the new shit. I think it is. Like if I had to bet a wooden nickel, whatever the fuck that is, I would say that's it. But and then here we get to the meat of the episode. Cheryl asks Larry to get a shower gift for this friend of theirs, whatever's pregnant, and she has a surrogate. I forget how this even comes up or why. she asks Larry, hey, tomorrow can you do me a favor and grab a gift for this shower? Now, right off the bat, this should just eliminate Cheryl from existing on this planet. What person on Earth would deputize Larry for the, hey, get a thoughtful and appropriate gift for a pregnant woman who's having a child through another woman? Who the fuck? You just be eliminated. Bye-bye. But then Larry starts saying, first of all, that's just, my brain is just, it's done. That is the dumb, anyway. But then Larry, on another planet, we're in Bizarro curve here, Larry says, hey, well, what about the surrogate? What, should we get something for the surrogate? And Cheryl, because the fuck, kind of argues with him. It's like, shit, just, if he wants to buy another fucking, number one, you must have a gun to your head or something. You're asking him to fucking do this. I don't know what bet you lost to do this chore. The answer, if Larry David's willing to throw in a bunch of money to get somebody else a gift, the answer is yes. What's the, no, don't give this person a nice gift or whatever? Larry's going to come back in his teeth. Anyway, so Larry wins that one. I want to give him a point for the, even just the asking, but that's not a real, I can't believe I'm back to saying transgression. I thought I was over it. Fucking New York Times, you got in my head. You got in my fucking head. Congratulations. But he totally wins the, should we get something for the surrogate? Yes, not only is Larry right here, but he's, for once in his life, thoughtful about another human being. And, of course, Cheryl fights him on it. So we're back to our, for this whole show, seems to be, a lesson we've learned is sometimes it just helps to have a bigger asshole in the room. So, damn, Larry starts out 1-0. Hey, that takes him 32 even seems for the season. So, congrats, Larry. Okay, now, if you didn't know already, season 4 is the season where Larry's in the producers, and he's at the doctor's to get his physical. And first of all, let's say, this is incredible. Right away, it's the same doctor from the episode where he had the pubic hair stuck in his mouth, which was 2 episodes ago. That one, Pornogill, and then this. So, didn't we have another instance this season where like a rarely seen guest star or whatever was back-to-back, although their seasons were far apart? Anyway, it's always good to see the doctor. So Larry's taking a physical, and this smoking hot nurse walks in, and his heart rate starts going up, freaks the doctor out, and he's like, I'm sorry, I can't pass you for your physical for the producers. And Larry's bitching and moaning. They go back and forth. It gets a little, I wouldn't say heated, but I think the doctor was already a little miffed because Larry came in hot bitching about the magazines. Been there. On both sides, if I should say, if I had to be honest. But then, this is so Larry. He can't just say, hey, look, your nurse is ridiculously hot. She walked in, I was looking at her, I got excited. I'm sorry. Come on. Do the test again or whatever, and like lock the door, whatever. But no, he's just not gonna say anything, and I'm guessing things are just gonna get worse. Anyway, Larry loses that one. Just fucking be honest with the guys. Other than literally would have almost no episode. But anyway, 1-1. Larry David, 1-1. Oh, ding, ding, ding. Here we go. Larry's at lunch with Richard Lewis. Happy to see you, Richard. R.I.P. And it turns out the smoking hot nurse that got Larry all excited in his doctor's office is Richard's girlfriend. Because, of course, by laws of nature or unnature, non-nature, whatever opposite of nature is, whenever Larry David leaves his house for more than 0 seconds, by law, he has to run into somebody he knows. Like, I don't understand. I mean, I know this wasn't just bumping into the street like normal, but can he go anywhere without, he already knows somebody? Get the fuck out of here. All right, let's see what this bullshit is now. Okay, what's important here is Richard's dating Renee, who's black, and turns out he's never dated a black woman before, and he went into the Knicks locker room one time. Fast forward to now, he's intimidated. He's worried that he won't be pleasing to her as a lover due to his diminished, as compared to an NBA player's, equipment. And then Larry steps into it here. I don't know if he's joking, but if you remember his season 4 thing with Cheryl is up until their anniversary, he can have a one night stand with a woman. So he heroically suggests that he could step in for Richard and kind of, I guess, test the waters, so to speak. And Richard gets genuinely pissed, although he talks so strange that you don't have intercourse with your buddy's girlfriend. Like, you guys know each other 1,000 years. Who says intercourse? And even the way he said forward, he said in the next locker room, and I looked at it was a forward. And it's like, all right, but I'm pretty sure you could have just said any player and we'd understand that the average NBA player starts with, about a foot taller than you. So we're going to assume you don't have to say the word forward. But anyway, I'm losing track what the fuck I was saying. I don't know. Like I said, Larry's wrong, of course, recommending yourself for the try out my buddy's girlfriend's vagina job. But then Richard, I forgot his name. Richard pisses me off a bit with the you don't have intercourse. But I can't give Larry the win there. As brave as he was in that situation. 1 and 2, Larry. 1 and 2. Good try, though, buddy. I appreciate the chutzpah. Speaking of chutzpah, don't forget this season of Xmas Your Enthusiasm is brought to you by Roy Rogers. Roy Rogers, you're the one who took the wrong exit. You eat the shit. Okay, now Larry's leaving the restaurant, and there's a guy standing next to a sign that says valet parking, dressed up in what could only be described as a valet uniform, but without the overcoat. And Larry starts handing him his keys, and he's like, yeah, I'm not the fucking valet. And so Larry's on his back foot because the guy's black. So the guy's like, you think it's just because I'm black? And you know what? I'm gonna go against the grain here. I'm sorry. I know that it's supposed to be funny because he's black and he's about to get in trouble with Wanda. I should have kept watching probably, but you are literally dressed like you're in a Halloween costume as the valet, standing next to a sign that says valet. And everything. I can't give Larry a loss for that. I know. I mean, he can say sorry and whatever, but enough's enough. He can't lose that. It's just beyond ridiculous. Enough's enough. You have to have some sense of humor in this situation. Being like, yeah, I know it's ridiculous. I look like a valet. For this, I have to say, lighten up. I'm babbling. Yeah, there's Wanda. She saw him. I mean, I'm sorry, but Larry gets another easy win out of this one because Wanda comes after him from across the parking lot. And everything she says is hilarious. I'm sorry. Why was Wanda Sykes only in, was it 11 episodes? I can look it up. Or I think fewer than that. I don't think she was on it after 2011. Why was Wanda Sykes so underused on this? She's incredible. But I can't give, so she comes up yelling at Larry. And again, he's like, I'm sorry. It was an honest mistake. He was dressed like a valet. And she's her. I'm sorry. That's another win for Larry. I'm telling you, Larry's crushing it with this quote-unquote racial stuff in the parking lot. Now he pivots to, he decides he's going to ask Wanda for Richard. He asks her, is there a discernible difference between a white penis and a black penis? And now he framed it terribly. He set it up like, you've had a lot of dicks. But, and she got all offended and pissed off. And, rightfully so, maybe. But I got to say, that's a good friend. Now, the other thing is, I think they were kind of close enough that he should have felt like not comfortable, but comfortable enough with enough of a good preamble. He could have set it up like, hey, can you help me out? The yada yada. He could have done it a little better, but I mean, he's a good fucking friend to Richard for this. I got to give him credit. I don't know. I don't think I would have. I would have just kept my fucking mouth shut and everything. Larry's a good friend here. Kind of taking the bullet here, willing to look like an asshole so he can report back to Richard. Now, the upshot is it was all wasted because I don't think he got an answer. But anyway, hey, 4-2 Larry. Maybe this is when Larry pulls away. Here we are at the end of the season. He needs to pull away to finish above 500. 4-2 right now, Larry. Okay, this isn't a transgression, so to speak. But so, yeah, Larry's at the store for this chore that, give me more. I'm such a bore. That Cheryl, green eggs and ham, that Cheryl inexplicably sent him on to get a gift, to get a doll for this woman or baby or whatever. And of course, It can't just be gets a doll or whatever. The only doll there is a mixed race doll, which I think is going to come up at some point in this episode. And the person working there is a young Melissa McCarthy. This 2004, I guess that was probably after Gilmore Girls thing or whatever. But, this whole baby doll that surprises someone because it's a different race, like we saw in The Office. At least Only Fools and Horses, when they did it, it was a real baby. In the great season 5 opener, From Prussia with Love, Only Fools and Horses, a better show than this. No, just anyway. Again, not a thing, not an argument or whatever. Just wanted to get that set on the table for you. You're welcome. And just like that, Larry's trick is over. Now they're at the shower. They open up his gift, and they're like, "Oh, a doll!" And for some reason, he feels the need to shout out, "It's a mulatto!" And it's everybody. You can hear pin drop. The the mother is like, the word is biracial or whatever, and it's like, "What, Larry? Just I can't." Okay. 4-3. I mean, I can't do it. I can't. I need some help, Larry. I'm trying to help you. I need some help. Come on. Okay, Larry gets another easy win here. He points out, hey, I also got a gift for the surrogate. The surrogate goes up and gets it, and everybody is deathly quiet again at this shower. And as they're walking into the other room, whatever, Cheryl doesn't say a word, but she gives him this look like she's horrified with him. It's like, you know what? Come on, fuck you. Like, who cares? The girl's baking this child for these people, carrying this child for these people for 9 months. She can't get a big panda bear or whatever the fuck it is. Again, Cheryl is killing it in the for Larry in the. Sometimes it just helps to have a bigger asshole in the room. I don't know what the hell Cheryl's. This is her worst episode, maybe. The only better thing would help would be if her asshole fucking parents show up. Another easy win. 5-3 Larry. Man. Also, I have a little crush on the surrogate, even with what appears to be the worst haircut in human history. Little crush. Okay, now Larry sets up one of these things where he's talking to this surrogate, and he starts bitching and moaning about how, in his world, as a writer, sometimes he works on something for months and months and months and months, only to give it away to somebody else. And he's just painting this picture, hitting a hammer on the head over and over and over. And we know this is going to be one of those things where Larry gives weirdly, incredibly specific advice for someone's life that they then act upon, for which severe consequences tumble down like dominoes. This is just fucking stupid. All right, I was dancing on lasers there. I have to give him a loss because he also keeps referring to his work, like his script or whatever, as his baby over and over and over, and the woman's visibly wincing. Fucking loss. I got to give him a loss for that. Pitiful Larry. That happens so often. It does have to be identified as a Curb Your Enthusiasm trope. Oh, Mel Brooks alert! I think this is this the first time we've gotten to say the word Mel Brooks on this show. I don't know. Mel Brooks and Ross from Friends. All right. Okay, David and David Schwimmer almost get into a physical confrontation because Larry told them about his physical, and Schwimmer's like, maybe you're too old, or just kind of giving him shit, and Larry gets in his face. You know what? I got to give that to one. David Schwimmer's being an asshole. Fuck you. Good for Larry standing up for himself. 6-4 Larry. But I do have to say, I don't know why I'm shitting on David Schwimmer a second ago, because he is fantastic in this role as himself. But a version that, I don't know, it might be kind of real life him. I don't know. You know, the guy that, like, he knows he's seen as a nice guy, and he is a nice guy, but sometimes it's hard for him to not be to be a nice guy, and it just, he's really great at that asshole, not asshole thing. Like a much more muted, subtler Ben Stiller kind of thing, but he's really great in this so far. I got to tip my cap. So anyway, 6-4. 6-4 Larry. It's all layups this episode for Larry. Schwimmer's dad shows up. If you remember, he had gotten pissed off at Larry for misunderstanding and some other, who gives a shit. So he's trying to ice Larry out. Larry's like waiting for the introduction. I'm Larry. He's being a dick. Hey, sometimes it helps to just, sometimes it just helps to have a bigger asshole in the room. Easy win for Larry. He's just picking him up off the floor in this one. 7-4 Larry. But I gotta say, Schwimmer is so fucking good in this role. Oof. All right, now Larry gets in Schwimmer's face, He's like, I know you fucking told your dad about my cashews raisins thing. That's what it was. And not only is Larry right for calling him out for being a little bitch, but Schwimmer is just repeatedly rude. He sounds like a 10-year-old, and it is intoxicating. He's fantastic. But easy win for Larry. He is just being a sweetheart in every room right now in this episode. God bless. I mean, we'll see how long it lasts. Probably not very long, but man, this dance between these two dickwads is a pleasure to watch. Okay, a lot going on here. Larry's in his car. He's trying to call David Schwimmer's father to apologize. As he starts talking, he gets rear-ended from behind another car, and he says, "What the fuck? Fuck you," whatever. So, of course, now David Schwimmer's father thinks Larry's telling him to go fuck off or whatever. Meanwhile, Larry gets out to confront this guy that hit him. This guy has a crowbar. He's ready to crack Larry in the fucking skull. Luckily, Larry uses he's all wired up for his heart test with the doctor. And so the guy's like, oh, fuck, because he thinks Larry's having a heart attack. I got to give Larry another point. Number one, was it worth, going to killing this guy and going to jail forever? And having the presence of mind to pull the old I'm having a heart attack trick. I mean, bravo. I know I've been hard on Larry lately, but that is, I'm not ready to say he's back, but that is some real George Costanza shit there. And that is about as high level of praise as I can fucking imagine. Easy win there for Larry. 8-4, crushing it. I mean, the premise is funny. You wanted to bash this guy's head in with a crowbar, but now that you think he's having a heart attack, you're desperately trying to save his life. There is a Russian short story in there somewhere. Note to self: write Russian short story based on that bullshit. Sorry, I think I misspoke. Larry is 9-4. I think I might have gotten that wrong. Okay, in the if I don't get this off my chest, I'm going to kill myself department, Larry's in the ambulance because he was faking a heart attack. They have to take him in. Of course, driving through L.A., he glances out the ambulance window. He sees the surrogate running down the street because the laws have curbed. I can't even fucking say it. It's so fucking ridiculous. Anyway, this episode is brought to you by Roy Rogers. Roy Rogers, you're the one who took the wrong exit. You eat the shit. I don't know. Maybe Larry Davis got me under a spell tonight, but Cheryl comes in. She's like, oh my God, are you okay? And he's saying, oh no, I just faked it because this guy was going to kill me. And Cheryl flips out. She's pissed at him. Why am I fucking here? It's like, lighten the fuck up. You thought your husband may have been dead 2 seconds ago. If you didn't fake this heart attack, he would have been dead because his brains would have been all over the fucking pavement. So maybe just fucking lighten up, be happy he's alive. Jesus Christ. The repeated bigger asshole in the room thing is just crushing it for Larry today. 10-4, Larry. Wow. Okay, right on schedule. Cheryl confronts Larry. What did you say to the surrogate? So, of course, the surrogate took Larry's unsolicited non-advice and doesn't want to give up the fucking baby now. And Larry's like, no, fuck, I can't give that to Larry. Part of it's maybe I'm just so furious that I'm hating Cheryl so much, but this one, Larry, you set this up on a fucking tee, and you know it. You do this all. It is a trope. Jeez, tough. Anyway, 10-5. Hey, 10-4 plus 1. Oh, and I'm also fucking furious because, of course, the surrogate has gone on labor, and of course, what hospital is she at? The one that Larry just happens to fucking be in at this moment. Because, let me see if I can get it out of my fucking mouth this time. According to the laws of Curb Your Enthusiasm, anytime Larry David steps out of his house for more than 0 seconds, he has to, by law, bump into someone he fucking knows already. God damn it, I did it. This episode brought to you, of course, by Roy Rogers. Roy Rogers, you're the one who took the wrong exit. You eat this shit. God damn it, it gets worse. They're on the elevator. Elevator door opens. Boom, there's a surrogate just sitting there. I fucking can't. Larry, David, you are taking me on a fucking journey tonight. I can't fucking take it. All right, now, this is a great scene, actually. Larry and Richard are in the men's room somewhere. I forget where. And he's giving them the good news to Richard. From my research, because, again, Larry did check out with a couple of ladies the scoop. He says, it's no big deal, the penis size thing. So they're all happy. And in walks Muggsy Bogues. How great is that? Well, Muggsy Bogues of Baltimore's legendary Dunbar High School with, I believe, Reggie Williams, Reggie Lewis, and David Wingate. One of the greatest high school basketball teams of all time that I didn't play on. One of them. Technically true. Anyway, it's all great, but then of course Larry can't help but try to check out Muggsy's equipment to see if his thesis that he's now given Richard is true. Muggsy gets pissed off and is ready to beat the shit out of Larry, which would have really made this scene lift off, if I'm being honest. It's a shame they didn't try it. But Larry pulls the old fake heart attack thing again, which again, I want to give Larry credit for George Costanza is in it there, but I don't want to rule against Muggsy because who doesn't fucking love Muggsy? Don't be looking. You can't get busted. I'm not saying everybody's probably done it. Who knows? Don't get busted. I can't give you the win, Larry, and we love you, Muggsy. 10-6, Larry. I hope this one isn't slipping away because I was feeling so good for Larry here, but we'll see how he goes. 10-6. Oh, and I should point out, I'm going to dedicate this to my buddy Will because my tone right there, I sound like him. So a little long distance dedication, buddy. Also, with Don't Get Busted, checking out a guy's penis at the urinal. By that, I mean, don't look up and then make incredibly visible, obvious facial expressions with your buddy on the other side of the dick you're checking out. That should be easy to be able to execute without being, James Bond, super spy. Man, Larry should get dinged twice for that. So fucking ridiculous. Anyway, sorry. 10-6 still. All right, Larry's back on track. Easy win. He's walking back into the doctor's office, and he happens to be walking by a black guy. And Larry turns with his key fob to do the old turn his car off, and the car beeps. Black guy spins around, and he accuses Larry. He's like, "Really? You think I'm gonna steal your car?" And I gotta say, that's what people do or did. It was perfectly natural. And why would you say something? Just keep walking and then shit on him in your car to your friends or whatever. Ridiculous. I can't give that one to that guy. I mean, usually in these situations, it's tough not to side against Larry, but perfectly innocent, I got to say, on Larry's part here. 11-6. All right, maybe Larry's back on track here. Fingers crossed. Crossed like two long black penises that Richard Lewis is terrified of. All right, another easy but delightful to watch win for Larry. Somehow, because again, the laws of Curb. As that black guy walks away, boom, there's Wanda waiting. Just happens to be standing there because that's what happens in Larry's world. And she confronts him again and is chewing his ass out again. And it's like, again, it's a fucking innocent mistake. And come on, Wanda. It's a delight to watch, and I could watch it all day, but it's a win for Larry. Sorry. 12-6, Larry. Whew. Another win. Larry's killing it with race in this one. Now, Wanda pivots to, hey, did the guy read my script? And Larry's like, yeah, he did, and he didn't like it. Now, to be fair, he was kind of a dick about it. I don't know why. And then Wanda flips out on him and says, did you tell him I'm black? And he's like, no. And it's like, now Wanda's chewing his ass about that. And I got to say, number one, who in that town doesn't know who Wanda Sykes is? Or can easily look it up in 2004. But even that, she was pretty, I would assume, maybe not super famous, but well known. They would know she's black. And if that is such an important strategy, such as that it would lead you to flip the fuck out if it does not happen, why would you not have mentioned it when you asked Larry to do this in the first place? Hey, Larry, do me a favor. Just mention that I'm black. Don't worry. I got you covered. You can do it. I got to pin this on Wanda. So 13-6, Larry. Another easy win in this goddamn parking lot. Larry should just spend the fucking season sitting out there in the parking lot collecting wins. Incredible. All right, and that's it for this episode, The Surrogate. Man, Larry David fucking crushed this. This was I have to say, this isn't my favorite episode by far or anything, but this is my favorite Larry performance within X Was Your Enthusiasm. This was, I shall say, a privilege to watch. It was full of George Costanza, the real George. I gotta say, and just the constant bigger asshole in the room coming out to crush it. I gotta say, this was a pleasure to watch, Larry, and by far his biggest score of the season, I believe, 13-6, takes him to 43-38, leading into the final episode coming up final episode of the season. So he's got a chance to keep his streak of over 500 seasons alive, even if we haven't had a lot of transgressions so far this season. But anyway, so I am hoping to try to have a surprise special, super special guest for the final episode of the season next week. I can't promise it yet, but I will tease you with it, even though you may not give a shit. But looking forward to that. But anyway, yeah, 43 and 38. This has been the Surrogate. Don't forget, this season of Extra Enthusiasm has been brought to you by Roy Rogers. Roy Rogers, you're the one who took the wrong exit. You hit the shit. Thanks a lot for listening, everybody. See you next time.